Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm David.
Welcome to The Average Vegans, a podcast to help you live an attainable vegan lifestyle. We're not the ripped influencer vegans you hear about in other podcasts. We're just some ordinary people living in the South, eating plants and loving animals.
And on this episode, we are discussing why your gut health is important.
Yes, that's what we're talking about today.
I'm bringing out my like rural area at Atlanta though. That's why I talked to some of my friends like from back in the days.
I don't know. We might have some new listeners that don't know this, but David is born and raised in Georgia. I know. It doesn't sound like it. He doesn't have like a southern twang like some people here.
Certain words.
I am not from Georgia. I am from Florida. Not proud of that.
I have certain words though, like dirt, and road, and sign, and oil, tinfoil, aluminum foil. Anything with oil in it is gonna be that word.
We just went to New York as a family, and our daughters definitely had some of our relatives like repeat words for them. Like they would just say a certain word in conversation, and Gabby'd be like, "Say that again," because they would just have a New York accent to it.
I do like it. I do like it when people from certain areas say a word or a phrase or something that's like very like stereotypical.
Yes.
Like I have a friend from Canada, and whenever she was like a boot or something like that, have the O sound. Yeah. Like I would go, "Oh my God, say that again." Say it again.
They said coffee, and she like Gabby lost it. She was so excited.
Yeah, I just like do it again. I have a friend who is from Boston, and she would every now and have like a Boston twang to it. I'm like, okay, say what you said 4 more times. That was awesome.
Yes, exactly. Oh gosh, yes, but David doesn't have a southern accent. He can pull it out though if we need him to, but let's not. No, this episode's about your gut health, and this is a very important episode. It's something that I am trying to work on because my gut health is not the greatest. So I'm excited to do this episode and talk about it with you guys. And of course, David will talk all scientific and be all fancy and stuff. But I want to start off with why your gut health is important, because I think some people don't really take, their guts important. Like, seriously? That sounds weird. Like, they take heart health seriously, maybe that people take, want to make sure their bones are strong, things like that. But like, I think people probably skip over gut health pretty frequently, and it is essential. Like that your health of your gut is essential, and it's essential from day one, like from birth. And it's linked to pretty much every kind of system in your body, including your mental health, which I didn't know till the last year. And that probably explains a whole bunch of stuff about me.
They call your gut a second brain.
Right.
Because it can control everything it can affect your sleep. It can, because your digestion, how food is digested, and even cravings can just affect your sleep. It can affect cravings. So if you're not on a healthy diet, you have a bad gut microbiome that's going to crave sugars and fats and like bad carbs and cakes, and you go, "I'm hungry," and your gut goes, you want this, because it's the bad gut biome you have to feed that bad gut biome. That's what it wants. It's really a second brain. It can lead to like depression, all kinds of stuff, to affect a lot of hormone levels in you and stuff like that. It's crazy just how much your gut. And to clarify, your gut is not just your stomach. It's your small intestine, your large intestine, it's all the way end to end. So a lot of people think gut just stomach. No, it's everything. The whole tube.
All of it. It can control your immune system, which we all need right now to be tip-top shape, because the world has gone crazy again. So your gut health is very important right now. Obviously, your gut digests fiber for you, which is a big part of being vegan. I have a tip later on for new vegans. Be very cautious of your fiber intake. I'll say that several times probably, because I think as vegans, sometimes we go a little crazy and don't really take into account how much fiber we're ingesting, and it can it can have very weird effects on you. So always, keep an eye on that. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff happening in your gut that makes a big difference in the rest of your body. It was really interesting to read some of this stuff. Like they even say that it could affect your heart health. Like I just said, sometimes people focus on things like their heart, but they don't focus on their gut. Well, your gut could be linked to the health of your heart as well. So there's been this new study that says that your gut microbiome plays an important role in promoting good cholesterol and triglycerides so that your heart is healthy and doing its best. So like, again, that gut makes a difference.
Well, yeah, I think your microbiome, all the little microbes in your gut are what breaks down the food you eat so you can properly absorb it. So without proper breakdown of nutrients, you're gonna have difficulty absorbing them, which is gonna cause a lot of intestinal discomfort, and also can lead to deficiencies and things like that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues if you have an imbalance in your gut between the unhealthy and healthy microbes. Did I say that right? Yes. Okay. You can get weight gain, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol. You can get like IBS from having bad gut health. You can get all kinds of ill effects from not taking care of your gut, and not just, physical things. There can also be, again, your mental health can play a role in that. And that's just something I think a lot of people really need to take into account. We're all really focusing on taking care of ourselves as vegans. We're focusing on eating a well-balanced meal, but there are certain things that we can put into our diet to help our gut even more. Like this is one of those health situations where it's very specific foods, right? It's not like you can eat a variety of stuff. Like there's like specific things we're going to talk about as we get into how to have a better gut. I don't know why that sounds so funny to me, how to have a better gut. But we're going to talk about certain foods that are going to help with that. And I think that's very helpful to be able to take these thoughts and put them into like actionable, what can I eat to help my poor gut. I found this weird stat that I wanted to share. So it says there's roughly 40 trillion bacterial cells in your body, but there's only 30 trillion human cells. So there's more bacterial cells than human cells in your body. That's fascinating, and also sounds kind of gross.
Well, it's actually interesting because like it used to be believed it was 10 times as many micro 10 times as many bacterial cells in your gut than there are cells in your body, and that was like completely made up, and people love quoting that one. And this is actually a lot closer. It's closer to 10. It kind of fluctuates between like almost 1 to 10 to 1. It
interesting.
fluctuates because your body's always like, it's like you're losing cells and you're rebuilding them, and the microbiome gets lower, so it fluctuates. But yeah, it's kind of wild that actually, there actually is more. It does fluctuate, but yeah, it's definitely not as much people usually think it was. I'm sorry, I just watched a video on this the other day about how like we had this whole like really. It's funny because like the 10 to 1, not 10 with the like the 100 to 1. This is the 10 to 1 was a myth anyway. But yeah, it's crazy how much just organisms are inside your gut that aren't you.
I don't know why that creeps me the crap out, but it really does. It's just like I just picture worms for some reason. I know that's not at all.
I'll give you something extra to add to that then. How about this? 1 in 3 people have a parasite that lives on your eyelid that looks like an eyelash.
I hate you.
And you cannot tell the difference. It's impossible to tell the difference.
I hate you.
So if you're in a room with 3 people, statistically, one of you have a parasite on your eye that like it feeds on oils in your skin.
Why are you the worst person ever? I got to get a new co-host.
No,
That was
I learned that.
awful.
I learned that in college in a science class. The teacher, he was really weird. I loved him. He was really weird. He walked into the class and just said this fact, and then started on something that had nothing to do with it. And so everyone in the
He
class
was just like, I have to tell you guys.
yeah, he's like, here's a fun fact. One of the people have a parasite that lives on their faces and eyelash. You can't tell the difference.
God.
Anyway, so now we're talking about dogs. Like, why would you say that?
I need more clarification.
Why would you add information? He's like, he goes, you pull all your eyelashes out. And he goes, you'll never know. It's impossible to tell.
That's so
Oh,
disgusting.
man, that's horribly
God.
awesome.
Bodies are gross.
He also said some really weird racist things in class too.
Oh,
so.
of course he did.
It was.
Lovely.
I can tell you that off the air. I'm not going to spread that on there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, lovely.
Right.
All right. So we've harped on the fact that your gut health is important. You get it. You know it's important. So let's talk about ways that you can get a better gut. So, of course, whole food plant-based diet. Duh. Number one, go vegan, eat plants. But also, this is like one of those times where eating, a variety, eating the rainbow kind of thing is important because you're going to get a little bit of help from a lot of different areas. There are some very specific foods we're going to talk about, but, obviously having a well-balanced whole food plant-based diet is going to help your gut tremendously. Cutting out anything that's going to upset that healthy bacteria and focusing on plants. And let's talk about some specific kind of food groups. I don't want to say plants because that sounds weird. So fermented foods is like the first thing people think about when they think about gut health.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a huge fan of fermented foods. That's a problem for me. And it's hard for my gut health because I'm just like, I don't really want to. Like, I've just like this whole section is not my friend. It's not my cup of tea. So
yeah, and the fermented foods are considered a probiotic.
Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about both of those, pro and pre.
Yes.
Ooh.
The stitch.
Yogurt, sauerkraut. Hate sauerkraut. That's a torture for me. Nope. I like yogurt. That's fine. I can get down with some yogurt if it's got like a really good fruity flavor. I'm cool. Sauerkraut, not my jam. Nope, get it away from me.
Because it's not jam, it's fermented cabbage.
Oh my God. Okay. Todd, my husband, he loves sauerkraut, so he probably has the best little gut ever because of that. Tempeh. I love tempeh, so this is one thing on this list that I'm like, woo! Kimchi, which I actually have some in my fridge. Again, kind of like a fermented food kind of thing.
Kind of similar to sauerkraut. So if you don't like sauerkraut, you probably wouldn't like kimchi.
Yeah.
It's like an Asian version of sauerkraut.
But if you put it in like a ramen or, something like that, it's pretty good and adds, a little bit of gut health, good stuff.
What did there was a Veg Fest. I only had kimchi once. It was at Veg Fest. This company was like this restaurant. Who were there? They were making a like some sort of weird mushroom like steamed bun thing with kimchi. It was really good, but it was back in the day when it was Veg Fest was still fresh, still new. I remember like the second one. It's crazy.
There's also miso, which I don't use a whole bunch of, but I know a lot of people love to add to like sauces and stuff. There's kombucha, which is David's favorite drink. Yeah, and I do like some kombucha. It's just, I can never finish the whole bottle. And I feel like you kind of need to. Like all the stuff is, I just feel like I got to get the whole thing in and I can only drink maybe half. And I'm like, oh, this is too much.
Well, as long as you seal
is that my gut telling me that I'm good?
Well, it depends on if you're too full or not. You know, it depends on why you're saying it's too much. You can reseal it and put it back in the fridge as long as it gets re-chilled. If you're not gonna finish it, you should be fine.
I do feel like full and like the carbonation is a lot. So
Yeah, it can be that way for some people. So that's the case. You just
okay.
reseal it and put it in the fridge. You're fine.
Okay, cool. Look at me learning stuff. We actually just got some kombucha over the weekend. David and I did a little episode where we went to Costco. So get ready for that. That's coming up. And talk about some Costco merchandise, products, whatever. And David got some new kombucha that looked very good.
Pretty
I'm
good.
jealous.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
I'll share details when we discuss it though.
Yes. I need to force myself to at least drink more kombucha since the rest of this list is like not my favorite thing. Like, it's the least I could do for my poor gut.
You gotta find one you like. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
It's like beer. A lot of people don't like beer, but you gotta find the one you like, and then you'll.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And I think that's part of the reason why. I will say that one of the funniest things, and I think I might have told the story before, but my boss, he loves kombucha, like thinks it's the greatest thing ever, just like you do. And we used to get the same one when we were, working in the office together. And one day he got a different one. He's like, "Oh, this is so good. I chucked the whole thing. It's all gone." And then I looked and I was like, "You see that black seal on it? That's the one that's got like 0.5% alcohol or something." He's like, "Oh, no wonder it's so good." There's one that's got like more alcohol than the other ones, and he was like, "This is great."
Yeah, it's funny because I think it's GTs. They have a normal one. They have one that has a little more alcohol in it than the others, so they have to be 21 and up. And I think it's a different company, but there's a company who actually makes beer kombucha. Like it's like alcohol strength, like beer strength. So it's only sold in the actual like booze section.
Interesting.
It's not bad.
If you guys have not watched or listened to our episode on vegan cocktails, we did make a kombucha cocktail. So you should check that out because, that's a recipe that you could alter with all kinds of different flavors and still get some gut health. We definitely talked about that when we were making it. We're like, "Oh, we're doing so good for ourselves, getting us some gut health with our kombucha." Not to mention we had like a bunch of vodka in that drink too.
You probably like a Moscow Mule if you do a ginger one or something.
That's true. Yeah. Let's see. Also pickles, which again is very similar to like a fermented kind of food. I don't like pickles much either. Didn't really like them when I was pregnant either. So
wow.
I know. I mean, I will occasionally like them with like a sandwich, but I have to like be in the mood. And if I do like a pickle, it's a bread and butter sweet pickle because you know me, I like sweet stuff. Even my pickles. Oh my gosh. So something else you can do for your gut is take a probiotic supplement. This will give you some healthy say the word.
Microbiome.
Yeah. Sometimes my mouth doesn't want to work, okay? It just stopped.
Microbiome. Okay.
Do you take a probiotic or a prebiotic?
I don't. I tend to eat a lot of fermented foods. So I usually eat a lot of like tempeh. I have kombucha every day, stuff like that. So no, I don't worry about it too much. There are tests you can do to see where your gut microbiome is. But I usually don't. I don't feel like I have the need for it, honestly.
Right. I learned that a probiotic helps seal the gaps between your intestinal cells and prevents the leaky gut syndrome, which is very common. That's what leads to IBS and stuff like that. So that's a really interesting little tidbit there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, for sure.
probiotics can also like prevent disease causing bacteria from sticking to your intestinal walls. It's just basically like we want all the good stuff and we want to make sure it does, all the bad stuff gets away from us and nothing leaks out. It's like the best little supplement.
Well,
I do take a probiotic, but not consistently enough because that is basically my middle name. Megan, not consistent, Snowburner. Oh, I said my last name. You should bleep that out, please.
I'll try.
Whoops.
A probiotic basically is planting those seeds and planting those good microbes into your gut.
Yeah. But there's also a prebiotic. So I honestly don't know why you would take one or the other. Do you know the difference?
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Okay, go.
Yeah,
go science boy.
So essentially, like I said, probiotic is actually after introducing that healthy microbes to your gut. So like yogurt or any of those, you'll see that they have different probiotics in them. You'll see you can see they're like really long Latin names. Because they actually naturally have probiotics, which is just bacteria that grows in these fermented things like pickles and kombucha and the mother. If you ever see kombucha or to get it because it has like the weird stuff in it, that's the part of the mother, and that's what the actual bacteria is. So it's actually implanting those and providing your body with those good bacteria. A prebiotic is a food you can eat that helps fortify and feed that good gut microbiome. So if a probiotic would be like the seed or the plant you're planting, and the prebiotic would be like the plant food and the good soil and the compost.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So there are some prebiotic rich foods, and these are more my jam. So artichokes. I love artichokes. I used to eat them a lot. Really? I used to eat them a lot as a kid. Maybe it's because it was like a interesting meal that we could get for fairly cheap in Florida, but I always thought they're cool to eat. Eat the leaf.
Whenever I see artichokes, I'm like, I eat artichokes. All I can think is the little thing on Family Guy where Stewie is sitting there with an artichoke and pieces in front of him, and he goes, "I'm soaking wet and I'm still hungry. What is this?"
Okay, all right, I get that.
Also, it tastes terrible, so it's been a mix.
No, they don't.
Oh.
What is a sunchoke?
So a sunchoke is also called a Jerusalem artichoke. And they're actually very good. I actually do like those. They're really small and they look kind of like a Brussels sprout, if I remember correctly. It's been a bit since so I can pull a picture real quick of them.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Why
is it showing me ginger?
I was thinking something a little different. No, yeah. So they look like ginger. That's what it is. They kind of look like ginger. I had a picture in my head. So they look like the cross between a ginger and a potato.
Yes.
And you basically can roast them and treat them like little potatoes. They're very starchy and they're really good. I like them. They're kind of an earthy flavor, kind of like a potato does, but they're pretty starchy. And I actually like them. I've got them a couple of times from a farmer's market.
I've never seen them, but I feel like the DeKalb Farmers Market would probably have some sunchokes. I need to try them. It's on my list now.
Yeah.
All right. So more prebiotic rich food. Bananas. Eat one every day. Best thing ever. Asparagus. David hates asparagus. Wow, we switched. Like half of these things you don't like. I love asparagus. My family loves it. They asked for it, which is like great to have my children actually ask for a green vegetable on purpose. Oats, which is a pretty common vegan food. Apples, put them together. That's a great combo. Garlic and onions, also a great combo coming from the Italian girl. I put that in everything.
Everything. Yeah, me too.
Everything. I saw a TikTok the other day and it was like, the recipe said 2 cloves, so I'm doing 10. And she was like chopping up this massive pile. I was like, yep.
I saw that one. It was like, how much garlic do you put in? And Smi's like shaking and goes, You add garlic until your ancestors tell you you've added enough.
Yep, that's it.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh gosh. Which is great because if it's good for my health, then that's like one thing I'm doing for myself. Like I absolutely eat some of the prebiotic food. I just need to add some more of the probiotic ones.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my problem is I just need to I eat more tempeh because I love tempeh, drink more kombucha, and I already have the prebiotics. Okay, look, I got my plan. I got my game plan. And David's like, my gut's fine. You're crazy, Megan.
Yeah, I do this stuff already, man.
So I've talked about this once before, but for beginner vegans, be conscious of your fiber intake. That is one issue that people complain about when they first go vegan. And I've even heard of people that will quit being vegan because their gut is very unhappy with them.
Yeah. It's true because like me, I know I've like had too much. If like I feel like there's a big rock in my stomach, I'm like, I feel like I swallowed a brick. So I did the chronometer. I can't talk today. The chronometer. So I watch it through that. But yeah, especially if you're new, your body isn't used to if you're new to being vegan, your body isn't used to all the fiber. So you tell people to kind of like make sure you drink plenty of water and kind of ease yourself into it. Keep track of your fiber intake. You're going to actually eat more fiber on a vegan diet anyway, but it's not something people really get used to at first. So yeah, just kind of keep an eye on it. Drink plenty of water. It helps kind of like keep things flushed out as your body gets acclimated to the higher fiber intake. So yeah, definitely be aware of it. So if you're going vegan, be careful about eating like brown rice. Brown rice is higher in fiber because it has the brands around still in the rice. You might want to switch to a white rice temporarily to lower your fiber intake. So just be aware of your fiber if you're starting out for sure.
And if you need any advice on that kind of thing, this is a tip that we have shared many times, but join your local vegan Facebook group. We have Vegan Atlanta, and I've seen many people comment in there and say, I'm a new vegan. This is what I'm experiencing. Can you give me some advice? And sometimes it is absolutely about their gut. It's about their fiber intake, and people give great advice on how they can help. So again, we try to help with our advice with these episodes, but you can always go to your local vegans and ask them. They're here to help. And they will definitely give you some advice that maybe we didn't include in this episode. So there's my extra tip.
Extra.
And that is about it for gut health stuff. We went over a bunch of information on why it's important, and I hope that you guys take your gut health a little bit more seriously after this episode. And if for anything, do it for your mental health, because we're all going through the never-ending problems of this world,
right?
And we all need to focus on our mental health, and this actually includes your gut. So I hope this episode kind of opened your eyes to how you can help yourself all around by just focusing on adding a few little different kinds of food to your diet. It's not like a whole bunch of things you have to change. I think this is doable for most people. So work on your gut health, everybody.
Absolutely. Your body will thank you.
Yes. And share this episode with your friends. If you have anybody who you think might be having some issues, then share this episode. Let them know that they can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, or anywhere else you get your podcast fix. Again, make sure to leave a review. We're begging, please review, like, star, whatever your platform asks for. Recommend us to your friends, family. You don't know who you might help by just saying, hey, go listen to this podcast when you're, driving. You may change their way of life. It would be wonderful. Of course, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Average Vegans, or email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com. You can find show notes, links, more at theaveragevegans.com. And of course, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. Let us know your favorite way to implement gut healthy foods. How can I get more into fermented foods? Let me know. So drop us a line. And that's about it for gut health.
All right. Well, until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.